Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the gripping drama unfolding in Port Charles on Wednesday, November 12th, as tensions escalate and lives hang in the balance. From heart-pounding medical emergencies to intricate schemes and potential career revivals, the residents of this iconic town are facing twists that could reshape their futures forever. Elizabeth Baldwin's growing discomfort signals deeper worries, while Charlotte Casadini ropes in her young allies for a daring heist. And a shocking collapse threatens the Quartermain legacy. Let's dive into the electrifying details that promise to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Elizabeth Baldwin's unease at General Hospital will stem from a bold decision that's about to ripple through the corridors of Windermere, where Lucas Jones is preparing to make his controversial move. As Lucas confides in her, he'll elaborate on the calculated risks he's embracing, perhaps driven by a newfound determination to reclaim his independence after years of personal turmoil and family pressures. Liz, ever the cautious nurse with a history of her own heartaches, will urge him to weigh the dangers, her mind flashing to shadowy secrets that Windermere holds, like lingering echoes of past Casadini intrigues. This conversation could uncover subtle hints of Lucas's hidden motives, maybe tied to unresolved medical mysteries or alliances he's forging in secret, forcing Liz to confront whether her friend's choice might drag her into another web of deception. Meanwhile, Charlotte Casadini, the cunning young schemer with a flair for mischief, will gather Rocco Falconeri and Danny Morgan in a secretive huddle, outlining how their combined efforts are essential for her elaborate plan to succeed. She's fixated on snatching Britt Westburn's elusive key fob, a sleek device that could unlock doors literally and figuratively to forbidden areas brimming with potential treasures or damning evidence. Charlotte might invent a cover story, like a group adventure game, to keep the boys engaged, but beneath it lies her calculated ambition, perhaps fueled by a desire to prove her worth to her fractured family. As the trio brainstorms diversions and timing, Danny's tech-savvy ideas and Rocco's street-smart instincts could add layers of unpredictability, turning this kid-led operation into a surprisingly sophisticated caper that tests loyalties and sparks unexpected bonds among the unlikely accomplices. At Bobby's Diner, the atmosphere thickens as Giovanni Joe Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake huddle over coffee, fine-tuning their strategy to secure that coveted key fob with no room for retreat once it's theirs. Joe, with his intense gaze and unwavering resolve, will stress the irreversible nature of their pact, drawing on his background in high-stakes scenarios to rally Emma, whose Scorpio heritage makes her a natural at covert ops. Just as they synchronize their next steps, perhaps mapping out entry points or rehearsing alibis, the pair stumbles upon a horrifying revelation that shatters their focus and injects raw terror into the scene. This discovery, vivid and visceral, could involve eerie clues like scattered papers or a faint cry, propelling them from plotters to reluctant heroes in a heartbeat. The horror intensifies when Joe and Emma uncover Ned Quartermain slumped in agony, his face pale and clutched at his chest. The aftermath of an explosive confrontation with Drew Kane that pushed the Quartermain patriarch to his physical limits. Ned's collapse, resembling a severe heart attack triggered by the emotional fallout of business betrayals and family rifts, paints a tragic picture of a man who's always prioritized power over his health. As sirens wail in the distance after their frantic 911 call, paramedics swarm the scene, stabilizing Ned amid the diner's chaos. While whispers of his feisty argument with Drew, fueled by corporate espionage suspicions, circulate like wildfire. This emergency not only halts the key fob pursuit, but forces Joe and Emma to grapple with guilt, wondering if their scheme indirectly contributed to the Quartermain turmoil. Rushed to General Hospital on a stretcher, Ned's arrival creates pandemonium in there, where doctors scramble to address his critical condition, possibly involving advanced diagnostics like EKGs and stress tests to pinpoint the cardiac episode's root. The Quartermain name carries weight, so expect VIP treatment. But underlying tensions, such as Ned's history of corporate battles and personal vendettas add a layer of analysis to his vulnerability, highlighting how Port Charles' elite often mask frailty behind facades of invincibility. Staff buzz with speculation, tying his attack to recent scandals, and this could ripple into family dynamics, exposing fractures that have simmered for generations. Lulu Spencer's heartfelt chat with Olivia Quartermain, meant to unpack emotional burdens from her own turbulent life, gets brutally interrupted by the devastating update on Ned's hospitalization, plunging them into shared grief. Olivia, the fiery matriarch with a soft spot for her ex, might break down, revealing private fears about the Quartermain clan's stability amid ongoing threats. Lulu, drawing from her journalism instincts, could probe for details, weaving in her own reflections on loss and resilience. As the news transforms their confessional moment into a crisis support session, this interruption underscores the interconnected web of Port Charles lives, where personal revelations often collide with public emergencies. Over at the PCPD, Dante Falconeri rallies the team with urgent calls for full manpower, stepping up in Anna Devane's absence, which leaves a void in leadership during this high-pressure period. The department stretched thin by unsolved cases and internal shakeups, so Danny's plea emphasizes unity, perhaps alluding to shadowy international plots that demand every officer's focus. Nathan West, lingering in the background with his brooding intensity, absorbs the conversation, his eyes lighting up at the possibility of redemption. This could be the turning point Nathan craves, a second chance to badge up, leveraging his past skills in forensics and intuition to bolster the force amid the chaos. Nathan's potential reinstatement feels electric, as the PCPD's crisis mode plagued by staffing shortages and escalating crimes might bend rules for a familiar face like his, especially with endorsements from colleagues who value his unyielding sense of justice. Imagine the procedural hurdles, background checks, psych evals, and tense interviews where Nathan confronts his previous downfall, perhaps a botched case or a personal sacrifice that sidelined him. If approved, this revival could inject fresh energy into investigations, allowing Nathan to tackle leads with renewed vigor, while analyzing the broader implications for departmental morale and Port Charles' safety net. Harrison Chase stands firm in defending his relentless pursuit to exonerate Willow Tate during a charged exchange with Brooklyn Quartermain, whose skepticism stems from loyalty to her own circle. Chase, the principal detective with a knight in shining armor vibe, recounts his investigative deep dives poring over alibis, witness statements, and forensic traces that he'd repeat without hesitation, driven by a moral compass honed through badge-wearing trials. Brooklyn might counter with concerns over blurred lines between duty and affection, but their debate halts abruptly as Ned's crisis news filters in, shifting priorities to hospital visits and emotional reckonings. This derailment highlights Chase's internal conflict, balancing career ethics with personal ties in a town rife with conflicts of interest. Michael Corinthos, ever the strategic powerhouse, delivers a chilling assurance to Nina Reeves that Willow Tate's freedom will be curtailed by the upcoming visitation hearing. His words laced with calculated menace. On Tuesday's episode, Michael's jaw-dropping maneuver, possibly a legal ambush or damning evidence plant aims to seal Willow's fate, blocking any path to release and intensifying the custody war's stakes. This bold play could involve shadowy alliances or manipulated testimonies, reflecting Michael's evolution from hot-headed heir to cunning operator, while Nina absorbs the implications with a mix of vindication and unease. The hearing looms as a battleground where family loyalties fracture under the weight of ambition and retribution. Britt Westburn reels from an unseen force, her poised exterior cracking as she navigates Port Charles' undercurrents, potentially spotting the enigmatic Pascal's return, a figure whose presence evokes ghosts of her complicated past. Tense encounters await, perhaps a charge face-off where old flames and betrayals resurface, forcing Britt to dissect her vulnerabilities amid professional demands at GH. Pascal's reemergence might tie into larger conspiracies, like corporate espionage or personal vendettas, adding psychological depth to Britt's arc as she maneuvers through alliances and threats with her signature sharp wit. Next, we will learn about the unsettling mystery surrounding Nathan West's shocking return and the whispers that he's not quite the man everyone remembers. In the shadowy world of Port Charles, where secrets simmer just beneath the surface like a pot about to boil over, fans can't shake the feeling that Nathan West's resurrection feels profoundly wrong. It's as if the writers crafted a perfect facade, polished, familiar, and convincingly heroic, but beneath that glossy exterior lies an emptiness that echoes like wind through an abandoned mansion. Picture a grand illusion, one that promises heartfelt reunions and closure for beloved characters, only to deliver a chilling undercurrent of deception. This return, teased with dramatic flair across episodes, has left viewers dissecting every glance, every word, wondering if the real Nathan is lost forever in some forgotten plot twist. The show's pacing has masterfully built this tension, layering subtle cues that suggest Nathan's warmth and vitality have evaporated, replaced by a mechanical precision that's almost too calculated. As the story unfolds, loyal fans are left questioning loyalties and legacies, with the once vibrant detective now casting long shadows over the lives he touches. Delving deeper into the enigma of Nathan's identity, his own flesh and blood, Sister Britt Westburn offered the coldest welcome imaginable upon his supposed comeback from the grave. There was no tearful embrace or joyous outburst, just a hesitant pause, as if Britt were staring at a ghost she dared not acknowledge fully. This reaction, captured in a tense hospital corridor scene that replayed in slow motion for emphasis, speaks volumes about the fractures in their sibling bond. Britt, ever the guarded survivor with her history of medical battles and romantic entanglements, seemed to sense an imposter in the room, her eyes narrowing with unspoken suspicion. Whispers among the rumor mill suggest this isn't Nathan at all, but a sinister doppelganger, his father, the notorious Caesar Faison, rising from his own declared demise like a phoenix fueled by malice. Faison, that master of disguise and manipulation, has a track record of faking deaths and infiltrating lives. Remember his elaborate schemes involving masks and mind games that terrorized Port Charles for years? If this theory holds, it explains the eerie disconnect. Nathan's mannerisms mimic the original, but lack the genuine spark, turning every interaction into a potential trap. This twist wouldn't just upend family dynamics, it could unravel the entire web of trust in the show, forcing characters to confront how easily the past can masquerade as the present. The implications of Faison's ghostly presence ripple far beyond Nathan's facade, potentially haunting the very streets of Port Charles with a vengeance that's both personal and perilously grand. Imagine Faison, the ultimate puppet master, orchestrating shadows from afar, his influence seeping into every corner like fog rolling off the harbor. If he's the force behind Anna Devane's harrowing abduction, where she was promised a fabricated new existence, complete with altered memories and a sterile, controlled future, it fits his playbook of psychological warfare perfectly. Anna, the fierce WASP operative with her sharp instincts and unyielding resolve, vanished under mysterious circumstances that echoed Faison's past obsessions, leaving her allies scrambling in the dark. This setup, laced with high-stakes espionage, positions the search as a high-wire act for those involved. The cunning WASP agent Jack Brennan, whose street-smart edge has clashed with bureaucracy before, the resilient Jocelyn Jacks, drawn into the fray through her family's deep ties to the underworld, and the enigmatic Vaughn, that one-name operative whose brooding intensity hints at hidden agendas and unmatched skills in covert ops. Together, they're piecing together fragments of Faison's final project, a cryptic endeavor involving experimental tech and mind-altering serums that could rewrite realities. Yet, the biggest clue might be right under their noses: Nathan himself, walking among them as a living, breathing red herring. This convergence of plot lines adds layers of suspense, turning routine investigations into a labyrinth where every ally could be an enemy, and every discovery a double-edged sword. Britt's silence in the face of these mounting red flags only amplifies the dread, painting her as a woman caught in a vice of fear and familial loyalty. Why hasn't she raised the alarm, especially after that cryptic note slipped into her medication delivery? signed simply with a taunting C. The envelope, described in vivid detail during a flashback sequence, arrived amid her ongoing health struggles, its elegant script a stark reminder of threats from her past. Brit, who has battled terminal illness with a fighter's grit and navigated romances fraught with danger, might be paralyzed by the repercussions of exposure and vision phase and retaliating through her vulnerabilities, perhaps targeting her loved ones or twisting her treatments into something nightmarish. This note isn't just a signature, it's a breadcrumb trail leading back to lab experiments bubbling in hidden facilities around Port Charles, where shadowy figures conduct trials that blur the line between life and simulation. The jury remains split on Faison's exact role. Is he a spectral advisor pulling strings via proxies, or has he undergone some radical transformation, merging his essence with technology to evade death? Either way, Brit's reluctance humanizes her arc, showcasing the toll of living in a soap opera world where speaking truth can invite catastrophe. Her internal conflict, hinted at through solitary scenes of her pacing hospital rooms, builds empathy, reminding viewers that even the strongest characters grapple with terror when the monster wears a familiar face. As Port Charles teeters on the edge of revelation, the narrative threads weave a tapestry of resurrection and revenge that's quintessentially General Hospital. It would be poetic justice for Caesar Faison to defy death once more, mirroring the undad journeys of his children Nathan's improbable survival and Brit's own brushes with mortality that have defined her resilience. This parallel isn't coincidental. It's a slam dunk setup for manipulation on a grand scale, where Faison exploits familial bonds to advance his agenda, perhaps aiming to control key players in the WASB or dismantle Anna's legacy. Picture the fallout: alliances fracturing, betrayals erupting in explosive confrontations at the Quartermain mansion or the dimly lit docks, and Nathan's true nature exploding into the open during a climactic reveal. The show's writers, masters of long-game storytelling, are dangling these possibilities to keep audiences hooked, blending thriller elements with emotional depth. What happens next could redefine power dynamics, with heroes like Jason Morgan or Sonny Corinthos pulled into the fray, their instincts clashing against the imposter's charm. In this unfolding drama, every episode promises twists that honor the soap's rich history while pushing boundaries. Will truth prevail, or will Faison's shadow engulf Port Charles entirely? Stay tuned as these spoilers evolve, delivering the heart-pounding intrigue that fans crave. Next, we will learn about the incredible journey of young talent Gary James Fuller, who has been captivating audiences on the hit ABC soap opera with his breakout role as James West. Gary James Fuller, the charismatic 10-year-old star of General Hospital, recently opened up about his whirlwind path to stardom during a lively appearance on the popular YouTube series Stone Cold and the Jackal, hosted by soap legends Steve Burton and Bradford Anderson. In this engaging episode, Gary didn't hold back, sharing heartfelt stories from his early auditions to his off-screen passions that keep him grounded amid the glamour of Hollywood. What struck viewers most was his infectious enthusiasm and maturity beyond his years, painting a vivid picture of a kid who's as comfortable in front of the camera as he is on a baseball field or behind the wheel of a mini dragster. This interview not only highlighted his professional milestones, but also delved into the personal hurdles he's overcome, offering fans a deeper appreciation for the pint-sized powerhouse who's redefining child acting on daytime TV. As Gary recounted his experiences, it became clear that his journey is a testament to persistence, blending raw talent with a relentless drive that resonates with aspiring performers everywhere. Diving into his General Hospital origins, Gary revealed a quirky twist from his very first brush with the show, one that underscores the unpredictable nature of casting in the soap world. At just 5 years old, he stepped into the audition room aiming for the role of Wiley Corinthos, a character central to some of the series' most emotional family dynamics involving the Quartermain and Corinthos clans. Though he didn't snag that part, perhaps due to the intense competition among young talents vying for such a pivotal spot, Gary looks back on it with a chuckle, crediting it as the spark that ignited his love for the craft. Fast forward 2 years, and fate smiled upon him during his tryout for James West, the son of Drew Kane and the late Scout, whose storyline has woven intricate threads of mystery and heartfelt connections into the Port Charles tapestry. The moment he nailed the audition, everything accelerated. Gary vividly described the thrill as his agent called while they were still in the studio parking lot, confirming he'd landed the gig on the spot. This seamless transition not only marked his entry into the show's legacy, but also showcased how quickly opportunities can pivot in the fast-paced environment of soap operas, where child actors must adapt to complex scripts and ensemble casts overnight. Beyond the audition anecdotes, Gary's interview shed light on one of the most demanding scenes he's tackled thus far, a moment that tested his resilience and added layers to James West's character arc. Filming the intense sequence where James takes a dramatic plunge into the lake part of a gripping plotline involving family secrets and unexpected dangers proved to be a real trial for the young actor who had never experienced the sensation of being fully submerged in water while dressed in everyday clothes. The cold shock of the water, combined with the need to maintain composure under bright lights and director cues, pushed him to channel genuine vulnerability into the performance, making the scene a standout for its authenticity. Gary explained how the crew's guidance helped him navigate the discomfort, turning a potential setback into a growth opportunity that honed his emotional range. This lake dive wasn't just a logistical challenge, it symbolized the deeper risks James faces in the story, mirroring themes of bravery and family bonds that have long defined General Hospital's narrative appeal. Fans watching the episode couldn't help but admire how Gary's real-life grit infused the fictional drama, elevating the episode's tension and earning praise from co-stars for his professionalism. Gary's acting career, which spans nearly his entire young life, began in the most unassuming way, planting the seeds for his current success on one of television's most enduring shows. At the tender age of 2, he made his debut in a delightful commercial for Leapfrog's My Pal Scout, a plush interactive dog toy designed to spark early learning through songs and play. This initial foray into the spotlight came about almost by accident, as Gary's natural charm during a family outing caught the eye of a casting scout at a local event. The commercial shoot introduced him to the basics of performing holding poses, delivering lines with energy, and interacting with props, which laid a solid foundation for more ambitious roles ahead. Over the years, these early experiences evolved into a passion, with Gary balancing school, playdates, and set calls in a way that speaks to his disciplined approach. His progression from toy ads to scripted television illustrates the evolving landscape of child entertainment, where digital platforms and traditional soaps intersect to nurture fresh faces like his, often leading to unexpected mentorships from industry veterans who see echoes of their own starts in his story. When the cameras stop rolling, Gary's world expands far beyond the studios of Port Charles, revealing a multifaceted kid whose hobbies reflect boundless energy and competitive spirit. Baseball holds a special place in his heart, where he shines as a versatile player stepping up as a pitcher with pinpoint accuracy, catching fly balls with steady hands, or covering ground at shortstop during crucial innings. Yet, if pressed, Gary admits that catching is his absolute favorite, a position that demands quick reflexes and team synergy, much like the collaborative demands of acting on a soap set. His love for the sport isn't just recreational. It teaches him valuable lessons in strategy and perseverance, skills that translate directly to memorizing lines or improvising in scenes. Complementing his diamond exploits is an adrenaline-fueled interest in junior drag racing, where he pilots scaled-down vehicles down quarter-mile strips, feeling the rush of acceleration in a controlled, safe environment tailored for kids. These pursuits keep him physically active and mentally sharp, providing a crucial outlet from the intensity of filming schedules that can stretch late into the evenings. Through it all, Gary's hobbies underscore a key aspect of child stardom, the importance of normalcy, allowing him to recharge and bring authentic vitality to his portrayals. Among his peers, Gary's dual life as a TV star An everyday 10-year-old generates a mix of awe and camaraderie, strengthening the bonds that ground him outside the limelight. His friends, a tight-knit group from school and neighborhood leagues, view his General Hospital work as nothing short of extraordinary, often dubbing it really cool during recess chats or post-game hangouts. This admiration stems from the tangible glimpses they get, perhaps spotting Gary in a sneak peek trailer or hearing him recount funny on-set mishaps like wardrobe malfunctions during rain scenes. Far from isolating him, these reactions foster a supportive circle where buddies cheer his episodes as enthusiastically as they do his home runs, blending his professional world into their shared adventures. Gary cherishes this acceptance, noting how it motivates him to stay humble and true to himself amid the praise. In the broader context of young actors, this peer dynamic highlights a positive side of fame, where visibility inspires rather than divides, encouraging Gary's friends to explore their own creative interests, from drama club to sports commentary. It's a reminder that behind every rising star is a network of everyday connections that fuel long-term success. As Gary's star continues to rise on General Hospital, his Stone Cold and the Jackal Chat offers fans an intimate window into the heart of a prodigy who's just getting started. From missed auditions that paved the way for triumphs to waterlogged shoots that built his fortitude, Gary's tales weave a narrative of determination that's as compelling as any soap storyline. His off-screen pursuits in baseball and racing add color to his persona, showing a well-rounded spirit ready for whatever twists Port Charles throws next. Whether he's dodging plot twists on screen or curveballs on the field, Gary James Fuller embodies the next generation of talent, proving that with passion and playfulness, even the youngest actors can leave an indelible mark on daytime drama. Stay tuned to our channel for more exclusive spoilers and updates on this budding sensation and the evolving world of General Hospital.